Welcome to Beyond Photography Show. My name is Andrew Boey and today is a quick tip episode, the fastest way on YouTube to learn photography and movie making. Today's tip, you have a Nikon flash but a Canon camera. I'm going to show you how you can fire it.
Action!
Essentially, all flashes do the same thing. You feed it to your camera, take a shot, and it fires a light. But it's trying to do more than that these days with the modern flashes. It's trying to be more automatic, and that is why every camera would come with various modes like this. As you can see with this flash now, it's showing a TTL mode. If I were to change this, you can see that the mode changes. By changing this mode, what I'm doing is I'm changing the way that the camera communicates with the flash. How do they do this? Through all these electronic pins that you have at the bottom of your flash. As you can see, this is how the Nikon's one look like. Compared to the Canon and compared to this brand. And this is where it gets very tricky because you can only now use a Nikon flash on a Nikon camera because of the pin offset. So if you were to take the same flash, let's say a Nikon flash, and feed it on a Canon and try to fire it at the wrong mode, you're gonna end up frying your flash or maybe even your camera because of the leads now not providing the right correct electronic sequences. So we're gonna learn how we can do this safely if you mount a Nikon flash to a Canon camera. Step 1. Make sure that your flash is not on any of these modes. No TTL, none of this. Instead, make sure that you're on manual mode like this. Because when you're on TTL or any other modes, you need to use all these pins to transmit data between your camera and the flash. And that is how you may end up frying your flash or your camera. But if you're using manual mode like this, the only pin that's used is the center pin, and this is universal to any camera brand. Step 2. Make sure that you're not on full power. That's scary. Bring this down to 1/8. Why 1/8? If you look at a modern flash, it goes from full power 1/1, 1/2, 1/4, 1/8, 1/16, right up to 1/64 or 1/128. So putting your flash at 1/8 would be perfect, somewhere near mid-tone. I know what you're thinking. What if your photos are too bright or too dark? Very simple. Take a look at this now. This is somewhere near mid-tone. If you are too bright, very simple, two things can happen. If you're too bright on the background, use your shutter speed, increase your shutter speed, make it higher. As you can see, this will darken the background. But if your subject is too bright, you can always increase your f number. As you can see, that will do the trick as well to darken your subject. Instead of going to your flash to change the power, this is going to be cumbersome. Just use your shutter speed for background or aperture if your subject is too bright. Word of caution though, if you look at this flash, the zoom is at 200, which means the light is going to be very small and very hard. Soften it by doing this. Because it's no longer on TTL, you may want to go about 35 or 50 on the zoom. Because in TTL, this was done automatically, but you're on manual now. And with those two things done, you can now safely feed your Nikon flash onto your Canon body and fire away. You will not fry any flash or your own camera body. Catch you in the next episode where we do another quick tip episode, the fastest way to learn photography and movie making on YouTube. You can now safely Canon camera using
Boss,
a
wrong
Nikon
settings.
flash.
Huh?
Can you do it a bit more energetic?
Sure, I like that. Sense to your potential customer that how cool your shoot is, the behind the scenes. A lot of photographers always post their client's picture on the website.
Action!
That can be troublesome. troublesome. In the sense is that you cannot just post it without asking them. We're going to talk about terms and conditions very deeply later. Now, the best way, which I found a trick, because it's so inconvenient to go up to your customer and ask, may I show your picture on my website? And then he's going to ask you, can I see it first? Which means that you have to edit it first. Which means that you have to send it to him. Which means that, you see, it's not finished. So that's why we're going to empower your assistants to take behind the scenes. But I'm not asking you to go set up a new set and tell your crew, no, this is not in the brief. I know, trust me, I know what I'm doing. Let's be creative there. Let's set up there, and I want the bride to jump into the river, and then the husband, no. I don't mean that. I don't mean a new set. I mean that it's an existing set in your shoot brief. You shoot different angle. You change lens. I'm going to show you how you do that later in the practical. Now, booking order is where you have your quotation, which you're going to negotiate on. You write all this down in your booking order. This is how it looks like. So much better. Now he looks awkward because he's so much taller than me. So how do you solve this problem, guys? Right. Then this, when that happened, you still got your comfortable side. Lagi shot, you go like, huh. See that? More stylish, isn't it? Okay, good. Let's do it the other way around. Let's finish this pose. So you do pop, take your 5 to 8 shots. Done. Okay, what do you want to do now? Let's pose the man now. Pang's group just made a beautiful pose for the bride and groom. What we're going to learn to do now is how to add on flash. At f11 is always full power because you got an umbrella on it. An umbrella cuts 2 stops. If they see the reflector working, you see very bright lights coming from there. I can see it. There you go.
Look at the camera.
Okay, is this your dog?
Yes.
You're not getting her back. No, doesn't work. No work, no more. You know, one of the most important aspects of photography that you have to master is portrait photography. The first thing you learn in this series of lessons are the different genres that you have in portraits, from wedding portraitures to business portraits, or even sports portraits. You will learn the science of how to pose your subject, regardless whether they are photogenic or not. It is your job as a photographer to pose them photogenically every single time before you take that click. You learn the difference of posing man and woman. By learning the coded smiles, you can teach your subject to smile beautifully every single time. Know the difference between smiling with your eyes compared to smiling with your lips, compared to smiling with your teeth, yes, and smiling with your stomach. Are you never satisfied with your portrait croppings, making it look kind of weird? You will learn the industry standards that we have in portrait croppings, where not to crop your subject, where you should be cropping. You also learn to categorize your subject into various facial features. Do my subjects have round faces? Are they oval? How should I light them up if the face is too thin? How do I light them up to make them look thinner? And that is why you're going to learn 6 the most classic and important light in portraiture. The Rembrandt light, the reverse Rembrandt light, the open loop light, the closed loop light, the butterfly lighting, the clamshell lighting, and many more. So quickly, join us in this series of lessons called Portrait Photography and immediately make everyone look stunning in your picture.